Hey folks, Jesus is coming so very soon. I got a lot to say again. I thought I was done with that. I really truly thought I was done with that. And I know before any of you judgmental people start on me about the color of my beard now, I'm so sick of having to explain stuff to people, and I don't have to. I really don't have to. But I want this stuff to be known because I have nothing to hide. That's what you don't understand. I have nothing to lie about, nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. But I have everything to gain through Christ. So I come here and I do everything I can that the Lord puts on me to do. Do I like reliving this stuff? No. I was already attacked the night before last after making that video. You have no idea what that did to me the other night. But in that, the Lord revealed a lot to me. You have no idea. So let me explain this. I told y'all my hair's always been like two-tone. I never had a beard. In 2020, I started to grow it out because my wife asked me to. She wanted to see what I look like with a beard. You know, this beard trend was going on. Now it's a mustache trend. And to me, the people with the mustaches, it just looks like pedophile. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's what they look like. Some people don't look good with it. They look just like one of those people to me. And see, my daddy looked good with a mustache. Then he grew a goatee as I got older. And I don't look good with a mustache. I'm not going to do that. So I never wanted anything. I just shaved all the time. Plus, I was in the oil field. You couldn't have a beard out there. You could have like a little goatee, but you couldn't have a beard because you had to be able to put a respirator on if you needed to because of H2S. And I just got used to that. And I kept doing that, kept shaving. And then once I grew my beard out for the first time, I did not like the color. That orange, it made no sense. You see, this is natural up here. It's right here. See how it blends? See how it looks better? You see how it matches now? I don't do it for any other reason than that. I just want it to match. People don't get that. But they'll cast those stones. They'll throw them stones while they go out there and they'll go put on lipstick, breast implants. They'll put on eyelashes, makeup. They're changing their appearance, but that's okay. It's only when someone else does it. You see, I'm telling you, these people, they don't realize the damage that they're causing to people inside the church, and they don't care because they're told by these preachers and people on YouTube. Don't think I don't notice. I'm telling y'all right now, and the things I'm going to talk about here is going to make a lot of you mad. And I don't care if you feel the need to unsubscribe. I said I don't care about this channel. You don't understand. I don't care about YouTube. YouTube to me is just like Facebook to me, which is gone. And if I need to prove that right now, I will. 1 second. Pick up this phone so people don't think, well, you just did that just to say that. All right, so in my folders here, I have a app, like a little folder for all YouTube stuff. And then I have a folder that says online. That's where my social media was. And I told y'all, I ain't lying. Hold on. You see that right there? I have Messenger. Only because people don't have my phone number and they talk to me on there. I don't use YouTube Studio because I don't care about YouTube. It's what you don't understand. I have nothing. I don't have TikTok. I have nothing. Nothing on my phone. So YouTube to me is just like that. If I deleted it, I'm good with it. I don't care. So people, you don't understand. You really don't. You think I care about things that I don't care about. And the things that I care about, you just can't understand. And I care about people. I like animals, yes. But I don't love animals like I do people. You just don't know. You don't know. I've had my dog, a little Chihuahua. My wife got that dog for me after I had surgery in 2018 because I was always home alone. And she wanted me to have something to comfort me while she was gone and while the kids were at school. So she got me that little dog. She got on Facebook and looked for a Chihuahua because she asked me out of nowhere. She was like, what kind of dog would you ever want? And I said, well, I've always wanted a Chihuahua. I've never had a Chihuahua. And they're just goofy dogs, and they're always angry, and I thought it was funny. I don't know why, just they're goofy looking to me. And she got on Facebook and asked somebody, does anybody have a Chihuahua that they want to get rid of. And someone commented and said, I have a Chihuahua. It's a $50 rehoming fee. And he was only like 6 weeks old. So she went and got him and came back and surprised me with him. And I've had him ever since. And I care about that dog. I truly care about that dog. But I've never said that I love that dog. See, you don't understand. Animals are not made in the image of God. We are to care for our pets and our animals in general. Your horses, your cattle, you're to care for them. But you don't love them as you do people. See, read the Bible, people. And these people in the church, they are that way. They love them animals way more than they love any people. Any people. The most rotten of the rotten person to the Lord is worth more than 500 dogs. That's what you don't realize. And you don't understand. You haven't felt the things that I felt. Right? Meaning, I guarantee it. Your heart hadn't stopped. You hadn't stood before the presence of the Lord. Not in reality. You may say, well, I've been saved and I felt that. And no, it's different. It's different when you medically die and you stand before the Lord. It's different when you medically die and you're in hell. How is it like this? Let me explain this. Try to anyways. How is it that I can't explain what I felt, seen, and heard when that happened to me in 2019 in heaven? Can't explain it. It's unexplainable. But I can tell you every detail of hell. How is that possible? Because hell, you understand more. Because it's all your regrets. It's all your sorrows. It's torment non-stop. And it does not stop. Never lets up. People just don't understand. And it's not that they don't understand, it's they don't care. They don't care. You think I care what people think? I wear shirts like this from my wife. Do you want me to show you how much I don't care before someone says, oh, you have an Ariat shirt on there? Oh, that's expensive. This shirt was my daddy's he got for Christmas. And I never could fit in it. You know why? Because after I got hurt in 2015, the depression got worse on me because I lost all my strength. I had nothing left. And I gained so much weight. So much weight. I was fat. And then when the Lord called me back in 2017, it took a little time, but the weight started to come off. I hated myself, is what you don't realize. And when I speak this, when I say you people, it's a certain group, and I want y'all to understand that. And if you haven't watched that last video that I posted, I encourage you to do so because I'm not repeating any of that. But I have more. There's way more. That is a smidgen, y'all. A smidgen, a crumb of the things you people, church people, did to me. And I know some people will question, well, he must have been touched. No, I was never touched. It was the abuse. It was the beatings that I took. It was just all of it. It was literal. Y'all thought that was bad that I said when I was 4? That had nothing on some of that stuff. And I begged the Lord not to, please don't let me relive that. And my wife pointed out in that video, and I had to go back and rewatch it. She said, every time you look like you were about to break, you see a calm come over you. That was the Lord there. Because I felt before I made that, and I prayed, and I cried to him that I didn't want to talk about that stuff. I heard and felt, I got you. I won't let you break. Go watch it. Go see for yourself. Think God ain't real? Do you think all this is just baloney? This man's talking about baloney. That didn't happen. Go watch for yourself. That's y'all just don't understand. I have fought with everything that I have always to make sure that my kids have, and it don't matter It don't matter what I had to do, what I had to sell, what I had to go out here and hurt myself more to do to make sure that my kids had things and my wife had things. And I got to the point where I couldn't do it anymore. It was too painful. Not just because of what I was going through in my mind. No, it was physical. You don't understand the things that I've really been through. And all through it all, the Lord was there, and I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it when you people, the church people, tormented me. The things you said to me. And I never knew real love before. Not from my parents I'm talking about, because them I knew. But it was others in the church in general. I never felt, I never saw Jesus in anybody. I'll put it to you like that, never. Not a one time before making this YouTube channel. Never saw Jesus in anybody. They were all the same. They were mean and cruel and unmerciful. and they have this saying, and I've heard a lot of people on YouTube say it, and I'm going to tell you right now, do y'all really want to know how many people here on YouTube that I have met and I have actually talked to? Literally had a conversation, not over text. It was more than that. Video chats, voice messages, live. You don't realize it. It's been a lot. And half of these people you are subscribed to right now. Do you know how many people of these people that I talk to now? 0. Do you want to know why? Because they're the same people that hurt me my whole life. You may think that sounds crazy, but I'll tell you like this. I'll try to explain it. My wife was messed with her entire childhood by every male that was in her life. And it makes me sick that people do that. You have no idea. No idea. It makes me so sick. People like that and abusers, the people that beat kids, and they have no mercy, no remorse, anything. It's so hard to show mercy on those kind of people, as I said, but you have to. You have to. I'm not saying it's not hard. I'm not saying it's not hard to forgive these people for what they've done to you. Because it was hard for me to forgive the church as a whole for what they did to me. It was so hard. You have no idea. But when the Lord showed me what he showed me in 2017, when he pulled me back, I'll never forget that day. When he showed me what he showed me, things changed. And I still thought people were like that. Everybody that was a professing Christian that came around me was the same way. Every single one of them. I have nothing to lie about here. And these people say, no matter what you do, you're saved and sealed until the day of redemption. And these people think, well, I can go out here and treat anybody how I want to because I'm holier than thou. You are beneath me. And they'll brown nose the rich every time. They all do it. I mean brown nose. Go read James 2. Oh, that's right. These people that believe this way, they don't read the book of James at all. Because it'll show you it's about obedience. Faith without works from the Lord is dead in itself. They take other scriptures and they flip it around and they twist it to their own liking. I understand it now, but I couldn't when I was a baby believer. I just want to say, don't treat me like a baby believer because you have no idea. You have no idea that I was at points in my life where I had nothing but the Bible and the Lord. Did I understand this stuff when I started? No. I begged the Lord when I saw who he truly was to show me your word. Teach me your word. It wasn't no man. See? I hated you people. But when I found the Lord, that hate turned into, I want nothing to do with you. It wasn't hate anymore. I avoided you. I didn't want nothing to do with you because you were all the same to me. And I felt different. I felt like I was the only one. I swear to y'all, I felt like I was the only one who felt this way, that I loved other people, not the church people. I say I loved them, truly. I loved them, but I wanted nothing to do. I didn't want to look at them. I didn't want them to speak to me. It was, y'all wouldn't understand. Truly, you would not understand. But it was others, neighbors, people that were outside of, it was so easy for me to talk to people that were broken and hurt and felt the same way that I felt at the time. It was so easy for me, and it's still today. Sometimes I'm out somewhere and I could just see it's in the eyes, y'all. Always pay attention to the eyes, I'm telling you, and pray. Pray, and the Lord will reveal to you things. There's so much on me. I'm going to try to make this as quick as I can. I should be doing the pausing thing right now so I can regroup and things, but I'm trying to make this raw so you can see it's genuine. I have nothing to hide. People griped at me about that when I used to pause, but it was because of this. Sometimes I get very emotional about things, and I can't help it. It just comes natural now. Didn't before. The only emotion I showed to you was rage, but I gave you a chance, especially after I came to the Lord and then fell away. See, these people think once you're in Christ, you can't fall away. Somehow you lose free will when you're saved. That is unbiblical. You always have free will. You will always have that choice, whether you stay with the Lord or you fall away. That's always going to be on you. They take scripture and twist it, folks. You don't know the heart. And I've tried to explain to y'all multiple times. When I came to Christ, it was through no man, because you were all the same to me. And I wanted nothing to do with you people. All of you. I wanted nothing to do with you. I wouldn't give you a chance because of what they did to me my whole life. But this is how it happened. I want to explain this. I really do. I want to explain how this happened. Just so y'all know, it was different. It was no church building. It was no preachers. Period. No people. No people. This was a genuine God thing, is how I came to Christ. So don't tell me I was never saved. Some evangelist people, hear me out. Some evangelist people I've never seen in my life, they came and knocked on the door. I was in the bathroom at the time, and I came in the living rooms. I heard talking, and there was a man and a woman, never seen them before, and they're talking to my wife. I walk in there and like, who are you? Who are you? What do you want? This man looked at me and said, do you know Jesus? And I just kind of smirked at him, At that point, I knew what it was. I said, I'm not interested. And then he tried to push a little more. Dude, I'm not interested. And I sat there and I shut down. I mean, shut down. I didn't want nothing from that. You don't understand. So he's focused on my wife at that point, and I was just watching her. He was saying some stuff. I really couldn't tell what he was saying because I was ignoring him. I ain't gonna lie to you. So nobody in my life ever planted a seed. I'm telling you the truth. No one nowhere planted a seed in my life because I ignored you. That's what you don't understand. I had this thing where I can tune you out because of all the abuse that I went through, literally, from church people. I learned how to turn you off where I couldn't hear you. You don't believe me that I can tune people out? Like I can't hear a thing you say? You know how I do that? ADHD. You want to know how? Because my thoughts are so loud all the time. But I've learned to focus through that growing up. Because medications didn't work. All they did was make me depressed. I wish my wife would come out here and join me in this, but she don't want to because y'all broke her too. She wants nothing to do with church people. Nothing. Because of how they did her too. The only person that she'll sit and actually talk to is Randy. Because Randy is the most loving man I've ever seen in my life. That man is genuine. If I ever doubted anybody, I don't doubt Randy. You don't understand. That man's been there for me when nobody was. He would call me in times where I needed somebody, but I didn't want to bother anybody. And he would call me in that instant, like the Lord put it on him to call me. And I needed that so many times since I met him. You just don't know. I didn't want to do that Telegram thing back in the day through my channel to make this thing, because I knew how it was going to be. All those mean people were going to come in there and they were going to take over. And that's exactly what happened when I did that. But through that Telegram, I met Randy and I met a few others. And I'm thankful I did because of that. But I had nothing to do with it after that. Because of the people that came in and took over and kind of conquered it all. So I deleted that app totally. Within 2 or 3 months, I gave it a chance. Didn't work. I wish I would understand this. So I was focused on my wife. I was just watching her and tuning that dude out. Again, if my wife would come out of here and join me in this stuff, she would sit here with you and tell you I have nothing to lie about. Because sometimes when she would get in her little griping fits, and she used to do it all the time when she was in her depression, I would tune her out. And how I did that was I would just get up in my thoughts and just, think about all kinds of stuff going on, and, thinking about doing this, doing that, and I couldn't hear nothing. So that's what I did in this moment. But I was staring at my wife as I was doing that. So I didn't hear nothing they were saying. I really didn't. And all I remember was that guy's wife was trying to break me out of that. I was hyper focused on my wife, and she was trying to talk to me. And I heard something Jesus from that woman. And I looked at her and right in her eyes, and I said, I told him I'm not interested. Don't push. And then I focused back on my wife. Tuned them out. And I saw something. My wife, I'm telling you, there was something different there. I saw this glow coming from my wife. And when I say I saw the Lord in my wife, she looked me dead in my eyes with that glow. And I saw him. Y'all don't realize this stuff. I saw him. I didn't know him. I hated him because I thought he was like all of you. And I saw him. And I wanted that. Then I started to, I got out of my thoughts and started listening because I wanted to know how that happened. I don't know what was said. But I know that these people started to get weird after that. They were like, now I want you to dig down deep and find tongues of the Lord. What? Well, I know that now. That's not true. That's not true, and you people say that's true. If you're saved, truly saved, you're going to speak this hibbity, hobbity, hubbity, hoobita stuff. That is far from the truth. That is very unbiblical. You're running people off from that because that stuff creeps people out. When I hear people do that hibbity, hobbity stuff, it creeps me out today because that's not biblical. That's not biblical tongues, folks. You want to know tongues? Go watch what they were doing in Acts. If you pay attention and you read that, truly read that. What tongues was, they was up there and the Lord put it on them, started speaking in tongues, and they were unknown to other people, but people in the crowd were saying, hey, that's my native language. Proving God was real. How are they speaking my native language? I don't know where they picked up this stuff from, y'all, but it's very unbiblical. Very, very, very unbiblical. Now, if you say I have a prayer language, that's between you and the Lord. But if you're out here doing that stuff, the Bible's very clear there needs to be a translator there. So if you don't have a translator with you, it means nothing. And it does nothing for the glory of God. Again, I learned nothing from no man. Nothing. Because if had I did, I would believe the same way 99.99% of you do. You think I'm wrong on this stuff? Well, I'm going to tell you. Go pick your Bible up and start at the beginning and pray to the Lord. Tune everything out. Tune everyone out. Don't watch YouTube. Don't listen to preachers. Don't go to those buildings. And you sit right there and you read it cover to cover. And you pray for the Lord to reveal to you His word. Just as I had to do, because I had nobody. I had nobody in my life that I wanted to talk to that was a believer. Nobody. And I tuned all of them out. Like I said, nobody planted the seed. It was through my wife that I saw that. And I went out about a week. I was thinking about this. I couldn't get that off my mind. And I went out to these ponds that I fished at the time. There wasn't a soul around. I could scream the top of my lungs and wouldn't nobody hear me. And that's what I did. It was on me so heavy, all that, thinking about that, and my wife, and that I wanted that so bad. I wanted to, so hard to explain. I screamed out with everything I have for the Lord to save me. And He did. And I told y'all that that day, when I went back home, I laid down to go to bed that night. And it's unexplainable. I saw these clouds. Every time I shut my eyes, it was the same scene. The same scene. So I'd be doing this. Am I going crazy? It was dark in there. Why am I seeing the sky? Every time I shut my eyes. Clouds. And I saw this hand coming through. And every time I would do this, it was getting closer. So it was happening in real time. And as it got right there at me, I saw this hole. Felt what I've never felt in my life, which was love. And I reached in the spirit for that hand, and I heard, not with words, it's so hard to explain, you have something very important to do. And I never understood that. Never understood that. And it was a domino effect in my life, and I fell away. People say you can't fall away. Yes, you can. Oh, yes, you can. When you are severely damaged and you're babying this stuff, you knew nothing about it, you fall away. But nobody can tell you that you weren't saved. They don't know the heart. They can go twist scripture all they want to, but that's not the case. I don't know what they're reading, but they're twisting it up. They learn from people. They learn from others. And those others lean on their own understanding because they have learned from others, and so on and so on and so on. But not many people has truly came to Christ the way I have. And I'm being honest about that. Through nobody. It was not a single person. I knew nothing. I didn't want to know nothing. You people broke me at a very early age. Now I was attacked, like I said, after I made that video. And I want you to do me a favor, if you will. Right now, if you will. Close your eyes, and this is exactly what happened to me. And in this moment, the Lord truly revealed something to me. And I felt it. You have no idea. Close your eyes. Picture you being 4 years old. And you're tied up. You're duct taped all the way around in a high chair. I hate reliving this, but seriously picture it. You're shoved in a closet. Your mouth is duct taped. And you're in a closet. There's no light. Small, tiny space. And you don't know nothing. But it's so dark. So dark. Beyond dark. You can't understand. Your eyes can't focus on light because there is no light. And you're in there for hours. You don't know if you're awake or asleep because it's so dark. Literally no light. You think you're going crazy because you're seeing things that's not there. Because it's so dark, you can't focus. So you're just seeing stuff. And then that turns into this sound in your ears because it's so quiet. It's so quiet, it's deafening. You don't hear anything. But that it's a loud ringing sound. I mean, it makes you feel like you're seeing more stuff. Then you start hyperventilating. You can't breathe. because you start freaking out. This happened the other night when I posted that video about I need prayer for my daughter, where I was attacked so hard by people. Instead of saying, yeah, I'll pray for you, it was about that song. I don't care what people think. Say I don't have discernment. Well, obviously some of you don't, because of the stuff you listen to and watch, and some of the people you watch, even here on YouTube. I'll get in that in a minute. So, in my room, my bedroom, we have a window right behind the bed, and we have 2 double doors that lead to the backyard. There's too many doors in this house. We got a front door, side door, 2 double doors in the kitchen, and we have 2 double doors in the back bedroom, in the master bedroom, if you will. And it gets bright in there. She didn't get home till after 4:10 to be exact, a.m. from the hospital. And I wanted her to be able to go in there and sleep for a little bit. I couldn't. I probably had 2 hours of sleep. But it was getting daylight. It was bright in that room. So she put up 2 curtains over the door there, the 2 double doors. And then I said, okay, well, I'll put one up over that window. And I did, just so it was a little dark in there so she could sleep. Now check this out. After I made that video and had to relive all that trauma, things that I pushed so far back in the back of my mind, you have no idea. You have no idea. I went back there to go to bed. My wife was already asleep. And I had my phone light on. And I went back there, laid down, curled up to my wife, reached over, and turned my phone off. And it was that same darkness. It was so dark in there, I couldn't see any, not even a smidgen of light. At first, it wasn't bad. Then I started getting attacked. And I started remembering that trauma. And I started hyperventilating, y'all. I was freaking out. I didn't want to wake my wife up, but I couldn't breathe. I felt that feeling, same feeling when I was 4. And then, just like that, it was just calm on me. I got you. I won't let them hurt you again. You have no idea. They will answer to me. Not just those people, but some of you too, that think you won't. Oh, you will. You just don't know the damage you're causing. Let me tell you something else. 4 days after my son died, I told y'all a million times, I was still in shock. But I wanted to feel something because I was so broken. It was shock. It wasn't depression yet. That came after people broke me again. And I had nowhere else to go. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. I was a baby believer then. No one told me anything. They were telling me bad things like, oh, just man up. Quit crying and whining. Give the glory to God. He's got something for you. You'll be all right. Toughen up. You people, man, I'm telling you. On that 5th day, I couldn't handle it anymore. So I was having nightmares. I was trying really to reach out to people in the church. Because I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. Because I was now a believer. Maybe it was just in my mind how these people were. So I thought, no, it wasn't in my mind. It was the truth. It's what I really saw the whole time. My whole life is what I really saw. Even past that. I told y'all, I tried to end it. I tried. I went back there on that 5th day, grabbed that rifle. Felt heavy not to do it the entire time. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. You'll be in hell, don't do it, don't do it. Still did it. That hammer hit that primer. I heard it. Click! Popped it out, looked at it. Oh, it was dented in. Didn't go off. Lord put it on me not to do it. But he stopped it because I was too stubborn. He couldn't stop me, so he stopped it. Y'all just don't understand how good God is. Now, I'm not saying this for you to go try that. By no means don't go try that yourself. And I remember saying to myself after I looked at that, I pulled it out and looked at it, and I chunked it across the room, and I said, okay, fine. I fail at everything. I can't even end myself. I'll tolerate it. I'll just deal with it. I have to deal with it my whole life, these people breaking me down, you know. I'll just tolerate it. And then that depression came. You can't even understand it. Looking back now, I can't even understand it because it was so bad. I'd never felt a depression like that in my life. It was beyond it. And even in that, me still coming to Christ and falling away like that, I still gave people one chance. But before that, I didn't. I gave them the benefit of the doubt. But I dared them to touch me. Just touch me. See, before, I want to tell y'all some more stories before coming to Christ. But before, it was, say that one more time. Just say that one more time. That's all you had to say it. Just say it one more time. It was like tunnel vision, focused in on you. You say it one more time. They'd always walk away after that. Wouldn't say nothing else. I had so much rage for church people in me from my whole life. So much. Still right now, I don't want to talk to church building goers. They'll come by the house sometimes. Hey, I want you to come try this church. I say, no, thank you, and I'll shut the door. I don't even want to talk to them. They're stuck in their ways, y'all. They're stuck in their ways. They won't even listen to me here. Though the Lord puts it on me, they still won't listen to me. You don't get it. Y'all have caused too much damage in the church and out. You want to know how out? I'll tell you how out. Just like I said in that last video. The people looking in, seeing what you're doing, the people that are curious to know the Lord, and they look, and they don't see Jesus in any of you. None of you. What they see is the worst version of themselves. And they don't want that because they want to be better. And they think that's what they'll get if they come to the Lord. And by far, that is not the truth. If they genuinely come to the Lord, that's not what they'll receive. They'll learn to love people. They'll be given a love they can't understand for people. They'll be given things that they just can't understand because they've never had it before. And they won't know how to take it at first. But then they'll learn, just like it happened to me. You'll learn how to handle it. You'll learn what to do because you'll start listening. And once you start listening, the Lord will reveal what He has for you to do. No matter where you are. There may be somebody just right there. And like I said, it's always in the eyes. You look in their eyes and you'll see this broken person. Absolutely shattered person. Though they're hiding it. Oh, they're hiding it. They may have a little smile or whatever. But you just look and you'll see that deep brokenness. And the Lord will lay it on you in that moment to go talk to that person. And you walk over there and your face starts tingling. And you don't know what you're telling them, but things are just coming out of you that you can't explain to this person. And by the end of it, the tears are flowing. This has happened multiple times, things I can't explain. And by the end of it, you have no idea what you said to that person. But their eyes are different because they just saw the Lord through somebody. You have no idea. The most broken people ever. I mean the most broken people ever. When they come to the Lord, they turn into the most beautiful people. It's like a flower. At first it's closed, and then they come to the Lord, and then they bloom into this beautiful flower. And all those mean church people, they're rotten flowers, dead, and they envy that. And they try to destroy that flower. They try to burn that flower. And sometimes petals just fall off that flower. But it's still shiny. But it just gets worse. The petals just keep falling and falling and falling. And the Lord keeps picking them up in his little pile and just holds them there. That flower is still beautiful, though it's missing almost all its petals because of people. The damage. People trusted these people. And they failed them every time. That happens every day. That's why I say these people have no idea the damage they're causing inside the church. And they will not get away with it. Will not. Here's something for you. I wanted to marry my wife so bad. And we got married September 18th, 2010. But before that, a week before we got married, we had an interview with the preacher. He wanted us to talk to him or whatever before he married us. It's like, that's fine. I didn't know this dude. I'd never met him before, but it was in the small town we lived in. Church people, y'all, I kid you not. So we go in and we talk to him, and he talks to my wife first. And he asked her, "Are you saved?" My wife didn't know what that meant. I didn't either. What is that? I didn't want to say that. She didn't either. So she kind of looked at me like, you know, that look like, do you know what that means? And then she looked back at him and said, yeah. And his exact words to her was, great. So you know what that means, right? You could go out here right now, get in a car wreck or whatever. And when you die, you'll be instantly with the Lord. And she kind of looked at me like, is this dude serious? I guess. I didn't know anything. I wanted nothing to do with these people again. I didn't want nothing to do with Jesus because of those people. Because that's what I thought Jesus was. Because of them. And it was my turn. And this is a true story. I just reminded her about it earlier while I was talking to her. You know, I was like, you remember that? And then I explained to her, and she's like, yeah, that was wild. But this truly happened. This preacher looked at me and asked me the same question. Are you saved? Again, I didn't know what that meant. I looked over at my wife like she did me, and I looked at him and I said, yeah. And then it just changed. And he said, no matter what you do, you're going to hell. I know you. I know you. I heard this and this and this about you. Someone told me this, and I believe them. I'm telling you, that tunnel vision that I told y'all that I used to get, I would focus in. It's like looking through a straw. People say I see red or a blackout. That didn't happen to me. Everything around, and I can't ever say this word, so don't make fun of me, please. Your peripheral vision. You know what I'm saying? I say your side vision because I can't say that word. That's the only word I can't say. All around it was like old film, but it was tunnel vision. And that started up, you know, everything started to close in, and I was focused in on that man's face. And I'm telling you, my hair started, I was getting mad, rage. And through that tunnel vision, see, before, when that started to happen to me, it would take an act of God himself to stop me for what come next. Because these people, I'm telling you, they tormented me, and I got so sick of it. When I was able to fight back, I fought back. But they didn't ever want none. See? But through that tunnel vision, I felt to look at my wife. We were dating at the time. We went straight from dating to marriage. There was no engagement. No engagement. I never proposed to her. We wanted to get married. That's man tradition stuff there. And, you know, get on one knee and all that. I never cared for man tradition. I wanted to do my own thing. But through that tunnel vision that I could never do before, was focus on something else, I looked at my wife, and she was sitting there going, she was that face right there. She knew. She knew. She knew I was about to come unglued. And I just breathed heavy. Then I looked at him, and I said, buddy, I don't know where you heard that, and I don't care, but you got it all wrong. And he looked back at me, and he goes, no, I don't. I know you. You know me? I've never met you a day in my life. Where do you know me from? See, with that tunnel vision, I envisioned myself, because he was sitting across this little wooden desk thing. And there was a wall behind him. And I just envisioned myself taking my right hand and hitting that man so hard that his head would go through that wall behind him. And don't think I wouldn't have done it. That's how I was back then. I would have hit that man so hard. And the thing is, he was a big dude too. But the other thing is, I was a big dude too. I was 6'1", I was fit. Oh, I could have took him. I knew I could have took him. You talking to me like that, you didn't know me. See, you didn't give me the chance. You didn't give me the opportunity to tell you who I was, to show you who I was. You jumped to conclusions because of lies you heard.
You got mail.
And that's exactly how they were. Always gossiping and lying on people. And you know, the Bible's very clear that all liars will have their part in the lake of fire. All liars. You think I want to come here and lie? I ain't burning for nobody. Not my kids, not my wife, nobody. No, thank you. But I'm telling you, people have done that my whole life. Right there. That wasn't traumatic to me. That right there was not traumatic at all. But I'm going to tell you another story about school and believers, right? And this is the last one I'm going to tell because I really don't feel to talk about it anymore. So, at that same school that coach did that stuff to me I told y'all about, picked me up by my throat, and my daddy stopped him. One more thing happened there, and this was after that. See, kids were mean to me up there. They'd pick on me because I was little, because my parents had to have me on Ritalin, and it stunted my growth. I didn't get a growth spurt till I was 16, I kid y'all not. You just don't realize it. So I was smaller than all the little boys that were there. And I shouldn't have been. So I know that principal was watching. I know because there was a window right there, and then there was a huge opening, and then across that was the cafeteria. But there was a big concrete thing there, and all the kids would sit there and eat their lunch and stuff. And he would look out that little window because I'd see the blinds pulled down when someone was looking through it. And I'd look over there, and he was watching. These kids would seriously just beat on me. I'd try to fight back, but again, I was little. I was probably 6th, 7th grade, I guess. I wanted to fight back so bad, I tried. But they were bigger than me. But I tried. I didn't get my strength yet. That didn't come till later. Even after I was 16, 17, 18. No, it came later in life. It came around probably 20, 21, I guess. But anyways, this principal, and I'll say his name because I don't care. I don't know if he's alive. I don't know. I haven't heard from him. I don't know nothing. So I'll tell you this name. Pray for him. Pray he repents for what he did. Because I know it wasn't just me. There's no way he just tormented me like this. But see, before I go any further with this, my daddy went to school with these people. It was Woodlawn High School in Shreveport, Louisiana. My daddy graduated in 1971. Then he went off to college and played college ball for Arkansas Razorbacks. He couldn't play long because he got hurt. Really hurt. So, my dad was the type, and he was all in newspaper clippings and everything. If any of you ever go to Natchitoches, Louisiana, they have a little sports thing, downtown Natchitoches, and you could go in there, and they got little plaques right there from my daddy's achievements from high school. He was All-American swimmer, All-American football. He played every sport you could think of. He was a big dude. He was 6'2", huge, big arms. But one thing my daddy hated was bullies. Because he told me in elementary school there was this kid that used to bully him and pick on him. And he never stood up for himself. And then one day he got tired of it. And he hit that bully with everything he had. And he never messed with him again. So from then on, every time he saw a bullying some little kid, he'd walk over there and beat up that bully. And it was like that in high school. But this one guy, which turns out to be that principal, but hear me out here. This one guy was beating on this little boy. He had glasses and real thin, couldn't defend himself, and he was crying. And this guy had no mercy on him. And my dad come around the corner. I was told this story not only by my dad, but multiple people because they were there. So my dad came around the corner and saw that. And he told me, just as I used to have, he had tunnel vision. And he went straight for that bully, the guy. And he grabbed him and beat him the way he was beating that boy. And then drug him out in the hallway where everybody was. And then made him say just the most embarrassing things you could think of. And everybody started laughing at this guy. And that guy said, if I ever see you, or my dad said, if I ever see you pick on anybody else, I'm going to beat you worse. And he didn't. But this is what happened. That principal, his name was Lane Honeycutt. He found out that was my daddy. See, I didn't know anything about this. He found out that was my daddy. And every time he would peek out that window and see me being beat on, he would have somebody come out there, a little security guard come out there, and he'd make us come in there. And then purposely, he would let the person that was tormenting me go. And he would keep me in there. And he would blame me for that. Say it was my fault. It was my fault. And then he would pull that paddle out and spank me. Every time. And it wasn't just a regular old spanking. No, he'd come back with everything he had and hit me with this really thick paddle. It didn't bother me because I'm telling you, at that point in my life, I was used to the beatings by church people. Right? In this man's office, you've seen John 3:16. You've seen all these praying. You've seen all this stuff. It was all in there. He was openly a Christian. But this went on for a long time. And it got to the point where I'd go out there and get beat on by these kids, and then I'd have to go in there to the principal's office and get beat on by him. I got so tired of it. So over the next, year of him doing this to me, I would do the same thing every time. It wasn't every day, but it was like almost every other day. I'm telling you, I don't think there was ever a time, if I were to be able to look at my butt, it wasn't blue. Did I deserve this? No. What did I do? Try to defend myself? What's wrong with defending yourself? What is wrong with standing up for yourself? Because if you don't, they'll walk all over you. I know that firsthand. But that's what they do. They'll walk all over you. They'll step all over you. They'll put their feet on your throat. No mercy. Once you defend yourself, and you actually can, they'll stop. Because you're no longer a game to them. You're no longer fun. They'll find someone else that won't stand up. And I learned that in life. I didn't learn that from nobody. I learned that because it happened. So one day this principal, he did this. And I had it in my mind to make him madder. Because it made him mad anyway that I didn't cry. Again, I was used to it. This stuff people did to me, all this beating stuff, y'all wouldn't realize how tough it made me. I could literally block out pain. I was so used to it. You could hit me with everything you had and I wouldn't feel it. Sometimes I'd smile at you. Sometimes I'd wonder what I did. But it was always straight face. But I always take it, just like a champ. But I leaned back this one time as he said, "Bend over that chair." And he hit me with everything he had. And I looked back and I said, "Is that all you got?" Oh, that made him so mad. It made him so mad. He hit me again. And I said, "Oh, come on, you could do better than that. My grandma spanks me harder than that." Oh, I'm telling you, he got so mad. But he stopped doing it after I started doing that, after I started talking to him like that. It stopped. But I never told my dad about that. Because I got tired of feeling like I wasn't believed. And I know I should have just did, because he believed me with that coach because I had the marks. And I'm sure he would have believed me then because I had marks. But I hid everything. I shut down. Y'all don't realize that I shut down, completely shut down. Didn't want nothing to do with these church people. And every time I saw John 3:16 somewhere and they were doing that to me, it made me hate God more. It truly did. I hated God more. Because I was like, these are your people. Your people. And they act like this. I don't want you. No, thank you. You can't even control your people. I don't want you. This is what I used to say. When I say I didn't come to the Lord by no man. Nobody planted seeds. If anybody ever planted seeds in my life, it was seeds of hate towards God. This is what you don't know. You don't realize it. You don't realize the damage. But I told my dad later on in life about that. About what that principal did. And then he explained it. And he said, "I'm sorry you had to go through that. You didn't deserve the punishment." No, I didn't. I didn't deserve to be beat for something my daddy did, defending another kid because that guy was the bully. No, I didn't deserve that. So he bullied me. He couldn't beat up my dad, so he beat up a little kid. Like I said, it toughened me up. Y'all just wouldn't realize how bad this stuff toughened me, and I felt nothing for anybody. Nothing. Especially so-called believers. I felt nothing towards them. Nothing but hate. If you told me back then you were a Christian, I tuned you out or said not interested. And if you pushed and pushed and pushed, especially at the time that I could fight back, I'd give you one opportunity. If you said something smart, Alec, say it one more time. I'm telling you, they never did. I don't know what it was. They never said it again. They'd walk away. I guess they thought they were doing something for the kingdom of God by bashing me and belittling me and calling me this stuff. I have no idea. But in that rage, after I was saved, I gave the people more of an opportunity. I let them keep saying it, though I was sitting there smiling at them. But if they had touched me, which is all I wanted them to do, it would have been a different outcome. But it was still, people, you'd be surprised. These people in the oil field, they say that they're Christian. They say that they're Christians, but they say the most mean, evil stuff to people. And that's the treatment I got there too. That's what I'm telling y'all. I thought everybody was like that until I made this YouTube channel. And then people came into my life. Not many, but people came into my life and showed me differently. One of those people, like I said, Randy Wilson. I mean, my goodness. Well, I'm telling you right now, if you've made it this far in this video and you're one of these people and you're tormenting people out here, like I was saying, when I tried to end myself 5 days after my son passed, and this is the truth. So I know with everybody else, this is the same thing that they were doing. In that moment, right before I pulled that trigger, I was thinking about those people. I was thinking every word that they said to me. And then that hammer dropped. So everybody that you do this to, that goes out here and ends their life, I promise you, you are the last thing they think. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You truly ought to be ashamed of yourself for what you've done to people, what you have done inside the church, and claim it's for the kingdom of God. No, that's for the kingdom of Satan, is what you've done. May God have mercy on you, because it was very hard for me to. And it may not be you personally, but when I say you, you're all the same. The way you act, the way you treat people, your snobbiness, your holier than thou, your little smart remarks, all the stuff you do, you're the same, exact same. So you may be a different person than that person, but you're the same person as that person. If that don't make sense, I don't know what to tell you, but it is what it is. And God is good. The Lord has been right there through all that trauma, and He revealed it to me. He revealed it to me on August 21st, 2017, out of that depression. I mean, I'll never forget that day. Everybody knew there was an eclipse coming that day. I was just laying around. I didn't care about that. I didn't care what was going on in the world. I didn't care. It was just deep depression for that long. And I just lost my strength, and I got so fat, depressed, found comfort in food. Couldn't find it nowhere else. So I found it in food. And this is a true story. My wife, that entire time in my depression, though she was very hurt, she was praying for me. She was trying to make me smile. She was sending me goofy pictures, making goofy faces, just trying to get me to smile, y'all. She was trying to help me, and I couldn't see it because that darkness was just right in front of my eyes. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see anything that was going on around me. Nothing. But that day, the day of the eclipse, she called me, and she said, "Have you been outside?" No. Don't care to. And she's like, "You got to go see. It's weird. You've got to see it." And I said, I really don't care. She's like, "Just go outside. Go get some sun. Go outside. You know, just being goofy." Whatever. All right. Love you. Bye. When I walked out there, and I mean the moment the door opened and I stepped out on that step. Boom! Right in my heart. I fell to my knees. That hit me so hard. And then I felt like the Lord had picked me up. And I swear I felt like I was being dusted off. And then it wasn't these words, but it felt like it. Come on, boy. It's time. And then things changed. I started to see. And I swear it was that next day, my wife fell into her depression. And it was the worst depression I had ever seen in anybody. Worse than what I was going through. I was so scared she was going to end her life. I was so worried. I hid knives. I put everything up. I knew she was going to take her life. You could just see it in her eyes. And I was scared. And then I thought, I wonder if that's how she felt about me, because she tried so hard to comfort me and I couldn't see it. But I guarantee it, that's the way she felt about me, that I was going to do something like that. But I'm telling you, it scared me so bad that she was going to do that. And I used to, so it was like a reverse. All of those prayers for me, she did all this. And then the Lord just, I'm telling you, it was the hardest hit to my heart I ever felt in my life. It dropped me to my knees right there on that step. He pulled me back. But I was starting to do the same thing for her. And it's crazy. So from 2013 to 2017. So you skip 13, obviously. 14, 15, 16, 17. That's 4 years. The day after that, my wife fell into hers. And then it was 18, 19, 20, 21. Exactly 4 years of her depression. Can't make this stuff up. That's exactly how it happened. I would write her little notes, put it in her sock drawer, because I knew she was going to have to get socks the next day. She wouldn't hear me. She wanted nothing to do with Jesus. Every time I would read my Bible, she'd go in a different room, tune me out. I tried to do this stuff, and she ignored me. Didn't want nothing to do with it, because she was so hurt and depressed. And then I would just write out little notes on note cards, and I put it in the drawer. You're worth it to me. I love you. Don't do it. We need you. Just different things. Every day it'd be something new. I did that for so long. And I prayed. And I left her alone about it. I didn't talk to her about Jesus anymore. I just left her be. But I prayed. And I screamed out to the Lord to save her. Bring her back. Bring her back to you, Lord. And then one day in 2021, I walked in the bedroom to check on her because I didn't hear. I didn't hear nothing. And I opened that door, and she was right there on her knees, just tears flowing. And she looked up at me, and I knew something was going on. I didn't ask no questions. I backed out, and I shut the door. And I walked back in the living room, and I cried my eyes out, and I gave glory to God because he brought her back in that moment. And I guarantee it was that same hit that hit me right in my heart. It hit her. And then she changed. She started back being that loving woman that I fell in love with. She started smiling. It was different. God is good. Nobody can tell me otherwise. So you say discernment. I don't have discernment. I don't have faith. You have no idea what you're talking about. No idea. Romans 10:9 through 13, folks. Talking about this stuff, thinking about this stuff, I don't like reliving it. But give God all the glory. Anything that I've said, don't develop no hate for nobody. Don't develop no anger for anybody, because people, I have forgiven all these people. All of them. Even the people that come here and attack me, don't think they're not forgiven. But don't think I don't think about it. See, I'm still human. But it doesn't hurt me. These people cannot hurt me. That's what they don't understand. You think you're hurting me, but what you're really doing is you're hurting my beautiful wife. Again, I hope my mama don't read the comments. But if she did, you're hurting my mother. And you're hurting my good friend Randy, because he comes and reads these comments. He told me that the other night. He said, I read all your comments. I said, why? Don't do that. And I know it hurts him, because some things that he reads, he'll say, oh, a lot of it's so sweet. They're so good comments. But then he's like, then there's some other ones. I'm sorry. Now don't do that. Don't think it hurts me. People cannot break me anymore. You can't break what's been broken. beyond fixing. The Lord repaired what I had left from these church people and pushed me to do all this that I was trying to ignore, trying to say, I don't want it, Lord. I don't want to be in the same room with these people, much less talking to these people. Please don't let me do this. But I listened, and here am I. Here am I. Romans 10:9-13. I love you, folks. God bless.